Wood Jade Emperor was a very talkative and loved to make friends. When Luo Feng expressed that he was prepared to explore Hong Meng City, Wood Jade Emperor said confidently, "I can't be more familiar with the various places in Hong Meng City. I'll accompany you and give you a tour of Hong Meng City and give you an introduction. Then I'll have to trouble you." Luo Feng smiled. "No trouble, undyings have limitless lifespans, they can't just train all the time. As for adventuring and fighting, it's only once in a while. With such a long lifespan there has to be some things right? To be able to accompany a good friend to explore Hong Meng City, it's a joyous thing." Wood Jade Emperor smiled, revealing his snow-white teeth. Under Wood Jade Emperor's lead, Luo Feng began to stroll around Hong Meng City. Hong Meng City, the lowest level of residents were at least Emperor level, countless warriors gathered in this city, naturally it was very developed. Normally rare sights could be seen everywhere here. Large ship trades, plant life, metal life trades, warrior employment services, special items appraisal services, large auction houses, new gambling services. Gambling? Luo Feng saw a strange 7-story palace in front of him. On the palace there were 3 human words, Puya Palace. As a warrior most of them are adventurous and with their long lifespans there aren't many things to do. Gambling in Puya Palace? It's also a form of entertainment, come, I'll let you experience it. Wood Jade Emperor pulled Luo Feng and entered the palace. The moment they entered they saw large amounts of warriors. This huge palace that was a few km long and wide was bustling with activity. Open. The group of king-ranked formidable martial artists from the various races all stared ahead. At the same time they laughed and shouted, clearly very excited. Number 1031. The attendant shouted the number. Immediately many warriors within the palace cursed and scolded, however there were some who shouted, "Number 1031 is Nong Tsang Emperor. Nong Tsang Emperor has earned big this time. Nong Tsang Emperor, you've earned 100 million mixed elements worth of treasures, you have to treat us to a feast. Don't be stingy. Is Nong Tsang Emperor such a stingy human?" There was a commotion, after which a tall man with long curly hair shouted, "Go go go, whoever has a ticket, go to the 9 Incense Palace." Heroic spirit. How forthright. Cheers immediately rang out. Luo Feng who had just entered looked over curiously, "Wood Jade Emperor, what's going on?" "This is called the 1 in 10,000 type of gambling," said King Wood Jade with a smile. "Furthermore, Puya Palace doesn't earn much from this type of gambling." "Oh." Luo Feng was shocked. "This kind of gambling game is very simple. It's just that the casino will take out a treasure worth 100 million mixed element units. This is definitely not a random price. These treasures that are taken out are usually sold for at least 100 million mixed element units in some shops outside." King Wood Jade explained. The casino, Puya Palace, took out this treasure and started selling 10,000 tickets. Each ticket is worth 10,000 mixed elements. When all 10,000 ticket numbers are sold at a specific time, we'll begin to choose the one and only ticket number. The person with that ticket number will be able to obtain the treasure worth 100 million mixed elements, King Wood Jade said. "So that's how it is." Luo Feng understood. How interesting. This was equivalent to 10,000 warriors pooling their money to buy one treasure and then the lucky one out of these 10,000 warriors would obtain the treasure alone. Investing 10,000 would result in 100 million. Of course there would be more losers. Anyway, each ticket is only 10,000 mixed elements. Gambling once in a while, it's still fun. King Wood Jade walked in at the same time, introducing Luo Feng to the various types of gambling. These types of gambling were very similar to some of the most popular gambling methods on Earth. There were also some unique ones. The small gambles ranged from a few hundred mixed elements to the high ones in the billions. However, these types of gambling of the highest scale were only done once in a while. Even the Emperor Pinnacle warriors wouldn't dare gamble that much. "Who?" Walking out of Puya Palace, Luo Feng exclaimed, "How good is the Puya Palace at earning money? With so many warriors coming over to gamble, the casino just takes a small cut and earns a shocking amount." The Puya Palace is the only casino in the entire Hong Meng City. Even though they have to pay taxes to the Hong Meng, the profits are still shocking. It's a business without any capital. Wood Jade Emperor exclaimed, "It's impossible to apply to the Hong Meng to build a casino. There's only one slot, and this Puya Palace. Rumor has it that this Puya Palace's backer is one of the leaders of the Hong Meng Palace. Some even say that it's a collaboration between a few leaders." Luo Feng nodded. "It's not just the Puya Palace." Wood Jade Emperor walked on the streets, pointing at the distant huge shops. The various businesses all have a limit to the number of shops. These shops have to at least be backed by a universe knight to build them. Hence to earn huge profits from the Hong Meng, not everyone has the chance. Of course there's a win and a loss. Other than the Puya Palace and a few other places that are unique, even though there are limits to the number of shops, they aren't the only ones. There's still competition. Haha. Even though we emperors can't open shops, we don't have to pay to stay in the Hong Meng. As long as we don't gamble or shop, naturally we don't have to pay. However, as long as the shop is open, we have to pay taxes to the Hong Meng. Wood Jade Emperor pointed ahead. "Look, that's the best shop out of all the shops. It's called U Treasure Hall. It's said that it's opened by a human leader of the Hong Meng Palace." U Treasure Hall had a total of 2 levels. Every level's space was comparable to the Puya Palace. One had to know that the Hong Meng was very frugal with their land. Even the Emperor and Undying's residences were only that big. Hence a few km long and wide shops were huge. How much could they store? Who? Hee hee. Luo Feng entered Yubao Hall and looked at the countless treasures that filled his vision. Beside every treasure was a diagram. On the diagram were videos, pictures, and written information. They explained in detail the origins of the treasures, their specialties, and their prices. The treasures on the first floor of Yu Treasure Hall range from 1 million mixed elements to 100 billion mixed elements. They have everything. Wood Jade Emperor pointed in the distance. Look at the staircase leading to the second floor. Luo Feng turned to look. Yu Treasure Hall is the best shop in the Hong Meng. The first floor has countless treasures. The second floor has even more valuable treasures. Some of them can be bought with mixed elements. Some of them are even prohibited from being bought with money. One has to use other treasures to exchange for them, bartering. Wood Jade Emperor explained. You should know that there are some special treasures in the universe that are extremely rare. Some are even unique. To give an accurate price is very difficult. Unique treasures may be useless to some warriors. However, to others they are priceless treasures. Since the value cannot be determined, bartering has become the norm. Luo Feng nodded. He walked and observed. After a while he reached the staircase. This isn't a place you can go up. At the 100m wide staircase, there were 9 beauties from different races standing. One of them said coldly to Luo Feng. Luo Feng was stunned. The second floor of Yu Treasure Hall isn't a place anyone can enter. An ear-piercing voice carried from behind. A man with purple jade-like scales on his head, dressed in a strange golden robe, and his entire body seemed to be carved out of purple jade walked past Luo Feng. He walked up the stairs and glanced at Luo Feng. Yang. Wood Jade Emperor walked over. Looking at the golden-robed warrior he said, to go up to the second floor, one has to be a 4-star being or even higher. Or one has to have over 100 billion mixed elements in the Universe First Bank or Universe Galaxy Bank. Only those who fit the criteria can go up. Who's that strong-looking punk? Luo Feng smiled. He's called Wu Lu Wang. Wood Jade Emperor said softly. Even though he's a foreign race, his teacher is a 7-star being. His teacher dotes on him and treats him like his own son. The disciple of a foreign race 7-star being? Luo Feng smiled. That Wu Lu Wang is an extremely vicious person. Moreover, he's very open with the strong warriors of the human race. He does have a group of strong friends. Yang, we're not in the same circle as him. Don't mess with him. Wood Jade Emperor said. Different circles had different levels. Those with huge backgrounds or strong powers would naturally be friends. Luo Feng nodded. There are countless treasures on this floor, trillions of them. It's enough for you to look at them for a long time. Wood Jade Emperor smiled. That's true. Towards that Wu Lu Wang, Luo Feng only smiled disdainfully within. Looks like the foreign races indeed had low self-esteem amongst the humans. Otherwise, the truly confident ones may not care about the other party, but they wouldn't say it out loud to purposely attack the other party to show their own status. This was a sign of low self-esteem. Yu Treasure Hall was indeed the largest and best shop in Great Alliance City. There were many treasures and they were rare. Some weren't even in the Virtual Universe Company treasure trove. Of course, there were some that the treasure troves didn't have in Yu Treasure Hall. However, buying from the treasure trove, how could it compare to the feeling of shopping within the palace? It really makes one envious. The golden horned beast deities of the world treasures, I found quite a few too. The more Luo Feng looked, the more he liked it. He originally didn't have any plans to buy anything. However, looking at the trillions of treasures, he couldn't help but want to buy. However, the prices that really made him want to buy were usually a few hundred million, a few billion or even tens of billions of mixed elements. However, he had no money on him. Even though he had some spoils of war from killing the Sher clan youth, he hadn't exchanged them for money yet. Luo Feng's gaze was suddenly attracted by a peculiar golden armor that was about 8m tall. Even though this was created from the virtual universe, the moment he saw this peculiar golden armor, Luo Feng immediately thought of soldier armor and general armor. This is... Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Luo Feng carefully observed the golden armor before him, especially the energy emitted from it. It was closer to a soldier's armor or general's armor's feeling, only, this golden armor was created by the virtual universe after scanning the armor in reality. Luo Feng was in the virtual universe too, naturally he couldn't sense it. If it was in reality he could easily feel the calling. However, it wasn't possible in the virtual universe. The feeling it gives me is very similar to a soldier armor or general armor. Luo Feng looked at the map beside. On it were detailed pictures, introductions and prices. Luo Feng couldn't help but reveal a look of glee. Flame God race? The map had a detailed introduction. This gold armor was obtained from a large race war in the ancient times in the outer region battlefield. The original owner was an emperor-level warrior of the Flame God race. He was extremely strong, and the number of emperor-level warriors that fell under his hands numbered in the tens, after which he was killed by a universe knight in a large-scale battle. After being killed by a supreme expert of the universe, the Flame God race's king was directly turned into ashes, dying. However, the golden armor on his body was completely undamaged. It was shocking. They all thought that it was a powerful and mysterious treasure. This armor was treated as a spoil of war. After studying it carefully, one realized, the armor couldn't change its size. It couldn't be absorbed into the body. However, its material was something that even a universe knight would have to seriously attack before it would crack. As an experiment, there were 3 tiny cracks on it. Even though it couldn't change its size, An undying could transform his body into undying energy and enter the armor, forming an undying body that matched the armor. After experimenting, one realized that even if he couldn't absorb it as long as he wore it, any soul attack that passed through the armor would be weakened by over 90%. When a material attack landed on the armor, the impact would be weakened by over 90%. To be able to weaken even physical and soul attacks, this golden armor was a priceless treasure. However, it had a fatal weakness. This armor was already fixed and couldn't be changed. This caused a series of problems. 1. A fully solidified armor, the wrist and shoulder area would be stiff. If one was a fighter, it would be very hard to wield a blade while wearing the armor because the armor was completely solidified. Moreover, if a god who was originally only 2 meters tall wanted to condense an immortal divine body that was more than 8 meters tall, it would have a huge impact on their strength. A human undying was 2 m tall, they definitely wouldn't purposely condense to 10 m, or even 1000 m or 10k. Even though they could condense, it would affect their strength greatly. Therefore, the original body shape was the strongest state. 3. Although this set of golden armor had a helmet, the face was exposed. Therefore, as long as a soul attack, material attack, attacked the face, it would not be obstructed by the golden armor, and the power of the soul attack, material attack, would not be weakened. 3 fatal weaknesses. Coupled with an extremely high asking price, 5 billion mixed elements. Instantly, this golden armor, which was originally extremely valuable, became unpopular. 5 billion mixed elements? LuoFeng looked and nodded. Not bad, the price isn't too outrageous. Yang Wood Jade Emperor walked over. Seeing LuoFeng focused on the golden armor and the information on the blueprint, he couldn't help but laugh loudly. This armor is indeed mysterious, able to block soul and material attacks. However, its weakness is obvious too, especially the exposed face, making its original strength almost useless. Especially the price of 5 billion mixed elements. Haha, this armor is only useful to the emperors. However, which emperor would be willing to spend 5 billion to buy an armor that requires one to condense an immortal divine body to adapt to? Ah. LuoFeng looked at Wood Jade Emperor. No one has bought it before? Even though it had many flaws. But the advantages were shocking. There should be absolute warriors who would buy it. Of course people have bought it before. Wood Jade King sneered. Back then the Black Phoenix King bought this golden armor. In order to adapt to the golden armor, she transformed her body and condensed a divine body to wear the golden armor. She even specially made a mask to match the golden armor. However, in the end, encountering a foreign race warrior in the universe secret region, due to changing the size of the immortal divine body, the Black Phoenix Emperor's strength was weakened. Furthermore, that foreign race expert was much stronger than him. After a few exchanges, he discovered that her mask was a weakness. After all, the Black Phoenix King's specially forged mask isn't as magical as the golden armor. The mask can only weaken soul attacks by 15%. The enemy's soul attack penetrated through her face. After a huge battle, the Black Phoenix Emperor fell. Sigh, what a pity. Wood Jade Emperor shook his head. One must know that the most terrifying among the emperors are those that specialize in soul attacks. And soul attacks are naturally formless and fast, able to penetrate any part of the body. As long as the body has a weakness, no matter how good the defense is, it's useless against soul attacks. The armor is useless against soul attacks, and it even causes the user to change their undying divine body to adapt to it, causing their strength to weaken. It's really a waste to throw away. If it's cheap, 500 million, 600 million mixed elements, I'll buy it. But 5 billion mixed elements? It's enough to make any emperor's heart ache, not willing to use it to buy such an item. Wood Jade Emperor said, over the countless years after a few unlucky bastards fell, no one would be stupid enough to buy it anymore. However, it's also strange. This armor has been lost a few times, changing hands a few times. It's even been in the enemy camp before landing in our Great Alliance's hands. However, our Great Alliance has always set the price at 5 billion mixed elements. In theory, if it hasn't been sold for a long time, it means the price isn't right and we should lower it. However, it's always been 5 billion mixed elements. Oh, when this armor first appeared, it was priced at 50 billion. After the first user fell, it was lowered to 5 billion. Over the countless years, it's been maintained at 5 billion. Almost changed hands? LuoFeng asked curiously, Yubao Hall only has this armor? A total of 3. Wood Jade Emperor said, however this one with the cracks was sold to the Black Phoenix Emperor back then. I even know that Black Phoenix Emperor. How? LuoFeng nodded, carefully looking at the armor. It could simultaneously weaken material attacks and soul attacks? Unable to change size, completely solidify? Unable to assimilate into the body? Flame God race? That's it. LuoFeng confirmed with these 4 points. This is an armor that's even higher than the soldier armor and general armor. Flame God race? That soldier imprint, general imprint, they're both Flame God race words. Unable to merge into the body? The Masha clansman that hasn't trained the nameless manual, similarly can't merge into the soldier armor or general armor. Unable to change size? As long as it's merged into the body, it can change as it pleases. Weakening material attacks and soul attacks? This makes me even more certain. This is similar to the soldier armor and general armor. LuoFeng couldn't help but feel excited within. Hong Meng City was indeed a place where countless treasures were gathered by humans and large numbers of races. He just casually strolled around and found this mysterious armor. It was just that even though there were many treasures in Hong Meng City, they were all clearly priced. Luckily, the warriors of the various races in Hong Meng City couldn't truly use it, hence the price wasn't high. I have to buy it. LuoFeng thought. LuoFeng was very clear on his trump cards. Although the Wu-slaying wings were very powerful treasures, to him, the nameless secret tome and the general armor were more important. This was because these two could increase his own combat ability. The general armor increased his sector lord strength by 10,000 times, allowing him to make up for the difference between him and an undying. And its defense against attacks also increased his survivability. General armor. This was the main reason why the golden horned beast and his earth body had emperor-level battle strength. After all, just based on origin law comprehension, LuoFeng's beast god state could only reach the 18th level. It was far from Cuti's 20th level back then. However, relying on the mysterious general armor, he still had extremely powerful battle strength. Along with the Wu killer wings and his own creation, he could easily kill an official level pinnacle. He even relied on the fire god origin crystal to kill an emperor level beginner. If it wasn't for the nameless manual and general armor, I'm only an official level warrior. I have to thank the powerful beings that created the nameless manual. LuoFeng guessed within. The humans of Earth were nurtured by the powerful beings of the other races. The Flame God clan too was nurtured by that powerful being. The nameless manual was a technique that went against the laws of the universe. It was probably created by that powerful being too. Even though I've never met him, I've benefited a lot from him. LuoFeng thought. Wood Jade Emperor. LuoFeng said. Yang? Wood Jade Emperor looked curiously at LuoFeng. There's something I need your help with. LuoFeng smiled and brought Wood Jade Emperor out of the shop. To buy the golden armor, he needed at least 5 billion mixed elements. Luckily it was only 5 billion, it wasn't enough to force him to sell the inheritance crystals. However, the large amount of items left behind by the Nashi clan youth, LuoFeng had to get serious and try to sell them for a high price. Those spoils of war. LuoFeng would have to spend about 8 billion points even with his extremely low discount. Of course, those emperor-level warriors wouldn't be able to enjoy such a low discount. LuoFeng was the direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader, hence he had such a discount. The Virtual Universe Company didn't earn much from LuoFeng. After spending a day and a half, LuoFeng finally sold all his spoils of war. He first asked the Virtual Universe Company for a price. They were willing to buy it for 7 billion mixed elements. After which he asked the shops in Great Meng City. They too were willing to buy it for a price of 7.8 billion mixed elements. Selling it at retail was still worth it. That Wood Jade Emperor passionately brought LuoFeng to his own residential area to ask about the price, after which he contacted his friends. Finally he sold it for 8.6 billion mixed elements. If I exchange for treasures from the Virtual Universe Company and sell them in Great Meng City, wouldn't I make a profit? It's a pity. The Virtual Universe Company doesn't just forbid me, even the Primal Region core members from selling their items. LuoFeng sighed within. The Virtual Universe Company only wanted to nurture them, they didn't want to earn much. Hence the price was low. A day and a half later, LuoFeng came to the Yubao Hall alone. He specifically looked for a time when there were no other customers in the hall. Treasures were expensive, and an emperor might only be able to purchase one after countless years. There were only slightly more than 3 million emperor powerhouses in the entire Hong Meng City. Only a handful of emperor powerhouses would enter the Yubao Hall to take a look. Come over. LuoFeng summoned the waiter. This guest, what would you like to buy? The waiter walked over. This golden armor is rather unique, I'll buy it. LuoFeng said directly. Golden armor? The attendant's eyes widened in disbelief. No one knew how long this set of golden armor had been on display, but it had never been sold. Some people in the Yubao Hall had long suggested that the higher-ups remove this set of golden armor or lower the price, but their suggestions had never succeeded. This set of golden armor had always been there, and its price had been set at 5 billion mixed elements for a long time. Customer, please wait a moment. At the same time, he called for the person in charge of the first floor of the Yubao Hall. She was a human woman with curly golden hair and a graceful figure. On her sleeves were 3-star marks. 3-star expert. The golden-haired lady smiled at LuoFeng. Let's talk inside. LuoFeng nodded, entering a room at the back of the shop. There was only LuoFeng and the golden-haired lady, the two of them sat facing each other. Let me introduce myself. I am King Tsangxin, the deputy hallmaster of the treasure hall, the golden-haired woman said. LuoFeng only nodded and didn't say anything. It's rare to meet someone who wants to buy this set of golden armor. The golden-haired woman smiled and said, let me give you a piece of advice. None of the people who have bought this golden armor in history have gotten much benefit. 5 billion mixed elements is not a small number. LuoFeng nodded. He could be considered very rich, but if he had to spend 5 billion mixed elements to buy something of low value, he would be reluctant. However, this was a piece of armor from the Silver Armor series. Even a Universe Paragon powerhouse would have to be serious in order to damage it. It was clearly an armor of a higher grade than the Silver Armor. He had to buy it even if he had to go bankrupt. I'll buy it. LuoFeng said. This is the purchase agreement. The blonde-haired lady said, with the virtual universe system supervising, both parties will sign. After signing, you can transfer the money directly to my Yubao Hall. If my Yubao Hall doesn't deliver the treasure to you, we will return the money and compensate you tenfold. LuoFeng and the golden-haired lady signed the agreement. Luo Feng immediately transferred the 5 billion mixed elements to the Yubao Hall account. I don't want your Yubao Hall to leak the news of me buying the golden armor. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Don't worry. The golden-haired woman said confidently, our Yubao Hall has confidentiality rules. Of course if you leak it yourself you cannot blame our Yubao Hall. Luo Feng immediately got up and left. The golden-haired lady watched as Luo Feng left, after which she herself vanished from the room. Virtual universe within a space belonging to the universe night. The golden-haired woman appeared on an endless land of ice and snow. There was a simple divine hall in the center of the land of ice and snow. There was no one in the divine hall, but an old man sat on the ground outside the divine hall. Hallmaster. The golden-haired woman stood in front of the old man and greeted respectfully. What business does the Yubao Hall have? The old man looked at the golden-haired woman. This old man was the Hallmaster of the Yubao Hall, a universe supremacy-level existence. Generally, only truly huge transactions would require his presence. The golden armor has been bought, the golden-haired woman said. That useless set of broken golden armor? The old man was puzzled. Yes, the golden-haired woman replied respectfully. Who bought it? The old man asked. He didn't reveal his identity, only leaving behind an illusory universe number to contact us to receive the goods. The blonde-haired lady said, using the illusory universe number to ascertain his identity is very difficult. I can't do it either. Of course it's very difficult. The old man waved his hand. You may leave. Yes. The golden-haired woman vanished into thin air. The old man was the only one left on the land of ice and snow. He frowned slightly. A mere 5 billion mixed elements gold armor with such poor effects. Why does Master place so much importance on it? Master's orders. This armor has been maintained at 5 billion mixed elements. If anyone were to buy it, they had to inform Master immediately. Could it be that this armor really has some secrets? Is Master. He was one of the true overlords that stood at the pinnacle of the human race, and was also the true master of the Yubao Hall. Virtual universe, the highest point of Thunder Island, a silhouette suddenly appeared outside the palace that was hidden within the primal chaos energy. He had a tall and sturdy body, a long dragon tail and a pair of eyes that seemed to contain the entire universe. Just by standing at the entrance of the palace, the formless tyrannical aura caused the entire virtual space to tremble and warp. Primal Chaos City Master. He stood outside the palace and said directly, his voice transmitted into the palace and reverberated within. Longxing, you're already outside, why don't you come in? A calm voice resounded from deep within the palace. One was so tyrannical that it caused the entire space to tremble. The other was as calm as the ocean and the stars. Without your permission, how would I dare barge in? Longxing's voice was powerful as he laughed mockingly and entered the palace. The primal chaos energy within the palace automatically parted, revealing a pathway that allowed Longxing to see the Primal Chaos City Master sitting on the throne in the distance. This Longxing was also very straightforward. He directly walked to the first throne beside the Primal Chaos City Master and sat down. I'm here for the Flame God Race Gold Armor. Flame God Race Gold Armor? The Primal Chaos City Master's eyes lit up. Longxing, you found the method to create the gold armor? Nope. Longxing shook his head. That foreign race expert is indeed powerful, to be able to mass-produce these mysterious armors. Our human race has researched for so many years and still haven't been able to create them. Then why did you come? The Primal Chaos City Master was curious. Someone bought a set of the Flame God Race Gold Armor. Longxing said. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Longxing. It was one thing to buy it, but what was the point of telling him? He knew too. Longxing purposely set the price of 5 billion mixed elements, to force the Undyings who didn't have confidence to give up on buying it. Those who dared to buy it should have some confidence in using it. Undyings might have some miraculous encounters, figuring out how to use and create the armor. However, to specifically tell him, could it be? The one who bought the armor is your disciple Luo Feng. Longxing said. Ah. Even though the Primal Chaos City Master had his guesses, the moment it was confirmed, many thoughts flashed through his mind, and he quickly confirmed some information. Your disciple is an Earth person, and the Earth people were born from the foreign race expert's guidance. Longxing said. The Flame God race was also born from the foreign race expert's guidance. I'm afraid your disciple Luo Feng has the method to use the gold armor. So what if he has the method? How many sets are there in the race? The Primal Chaos City Master shook his head. Finding the method to mass-produce the armor, and even researching the secret method to create the Emperor armor is the most important. Otherwise, just a few sets are useless to us humans. Primal Chaos City Master, Longxing, these absolute overlords of the universe, their standards were extremely high. The manufacturing method of the golden armor and the strongest Emperor armor of the Flame God race was what they were after. Obviously, for the Flame God race to be able to use it in large quantities, they obviously had the method to mass-produce it. It was a pity that even after killing many Flame God race people, even searching their souls, using all sorts of methods, they still couldn't discover this secret. Ah. I won't bother with your disciple's matter, you as his teacher will handle it personally. Longxing said forcefully. If he discovers an important secret, it will affect humanity's overall strength, that would be a huge merit. The Primal Chaos City Master nodded. Leave it to me. Your main body has returned? Longxing suddenly asked, his expression serious. Not yet. The Primal Chaos City Master shook his head. Be careful. Long Xing said solemnly. Don't fall. If I fall, I'll just rely on the clone to form my main body. It'll take more energy and time. The Primal Chaos City Master said. How much energy and treasures do you need to form your main body again? And how long will it take? So much energy and treasures, it's a huge blow to humanity. And losing your main body's strength for such a long period of time will have a huge impact too. You are an important strength of humanity. Long Xing smiled. Don't be too crazy, know when to stop. The Primal Chaos City Master nodded. I'm leaving. Long Xing stood up and vanished. In the throne within the palace, the Primal Chaos City Master sat there. Long Xing had already left for a long time. Even though Luo Feng created an absolute art, his origin law comprehension is very ordinary. The Primal Chaos City Master frowned. Even though he killed Wu Yue, his battle strength is still weak. However, the battle strength he displayed is shocking. Even without killing Wu Yue, he has an emperor-level battle strength. I always thought he had some special encounter and obtained some treasure, but now it seems, it should be the Flame God race's armor and general armor. Sigh. The Primal Chaos City Master sighed within. He was very disappointed. Because the armor, general armor and even higher level ones, these were all mass-produced by the Flame God race. Maybe their effects were miraculous, and were extremely powerful at the undying level. However, as one's strength rose, the armor's effects would get weaker and weaker. These armors could only be produced in large quantities to be useful to the race. To an individual, it was just temporarily strong. I originally thought he had some special encounter. I thought it was some mysterious treasure from the universe, or from before the Great Apocalypse. The Primal Chaos City Master shook his head. A true treasure would only get stronger as one's strength rose. Just like the Wu Yue in the hands of an undying, its power was only average. However, in the hands of a universe knight, it was incomparably terrifying. Even with the universe lord, it was still useful. That was a true treasure. This is just a deduction. Let's see if this disciple of mine can truly use the golden armor. The Primal Chaos City Master said softly. Maybe he can't use it and has other powerful methods to have such power. If he can use it, it means that this disciple of mine has a special way to use the armor. The way the Flame God race used the armor, humanity already knew. However, if they couldn't copy it, other than the Flame God race, the other races couldn't use it. Just like the war in the outer region back then, countless undyings were turned to dust. Those wearing the armor and general armor were directly smashed into pieces and mixed with the countless remains. The humans who categorized the remains didn't notice anything special about the broken armor, they just treated it as broken pieces. And the golden armor, as it was a complete set, naturally was valued and treated as a treasure. Luo Feng bought the golden armor from Yubao Hall in Great Meng City. The delivery time was 3 days later at Army Camp 026. Of course, rushing from Yanji continent back to Camp 026 would normally take a few months or even a year or two. However, Luo Feng was anxious to get the golden armor. Plus he had sold many of his spoils of war to the emperors in Great Meng City. The delivery point was also at Army Camp 026. Naturally he had to make good use of the time. Using the God Country teleportation of the star-eating grass, Luo Feng directly returned to human territory from Yanji continent. The teleportation point this time was a space rather close to Wunyao planet. Using the Dark Universe flight, he reached Wunyao planet in 2 days, and then through the space tunnel to the 7th battlefield, Army Camp 026. Within Army Camp 026, the internal teleportation tunnel. The new soldiers are here. Everyone lead the new soldiers. Why are there so few new soldiers this time? The white-haired, white-robed undying in charge of leading the new soldiers and his subordinates were shocked at the new soldiers that were being teleported over. Because there were simply too few new soldiers this time. According to the rules, normally 100 sector lords would be gathered for a single teleportation. Usually, the domain lords and universe levels that accompanied them added up to at least a few thousand if not 10,000. However, this time, there were only a little over 1,000 people, and only 10 sector lords. A formless pressure emanated. The white-robed undying's expression changed. His gaze immediately landed on the silver-armored silver-winged youth. That terrifying pressure emanated from this youth, it was so strong that the undying's face went pale. So there's an emperor-level undying here, no wonder we only teleported so few people this time. Wunyao planet dared to let the sector lords, domain lords and universe levels wait, but they couldn't let an emperor-level undying wait there. Lord. The white-robed undying welcomed him. I know the way. Luo Feng said, following which he followed the familiar pathway within the army camp. This scene caused the white-robed immortal and his subordinates to smile along with him. Meanwhile, the group of over 1,000 new recruits all blinked their eyes. This powerful existence was at least a marquee undying, right? He actually gave me the same residence as last time on this island. Within the barracks, Luo Feng was once again given the villa on the island in the middle of the lake. Looks like no one has taken my place during this time. There was a convention in the allocation of accommodation. A titled emperor with extremely high military merits would be given a place to stay the first time. Then, the next time, as long as the place wasn't occupied by other undyings, they would be given the same place again. Ha Yong. A voice could be heard. Standing beside the island, Luo Feng raised his head and looked into the distance. About a few hundred km away on the peak of the mountain range, there was a luxurious residence, and a silhouette was looking over. Zima. Luo Feng communicated and laughed. It hasn't been long since you went back to the barracks and you're back again? Haha, unfortunately, Ku Tua is currently in the Star Tower. A few hundred km away, the Emperor-level warrior said. After which, he took a step forward and crossed the sky, arriving outside Luo Feng Island. This was a warrior with 3 heads, 1 big and 2 small. You're not even inviting me in? How would I dare? Please come in. Luo Feng smiled. The island was private property. Without the owner's permission, naturally one couldn't enter. Within the barracks, no one dared to break the rules. It hasn't even been a year since you came and went. Zima said. I came back for business too, hence I came back so quickly. Luo Feng said. The last time he went shopping in the barracks, he immediately returned to Yanji continent and fought the black armored youth head-on. After killing him and acquiring the second black metal board, he trained for 3 months before returning. It indeed hadn't even been a year. Returning to the barracks, Luo Feng met with his old emperor friends. Many of them said, Yang, you were black armored and black winged before. How come you're silver winged now? Luo Feng replied immediately, you can change the color of the armor. Before it was black, now it's silver. Who knows, it might even be gold. These words made many of the other emperors laugh. Returning to the barracks. On the first day, Luo Feng swiftly handed large amounts of his spoils of war to the Virtual Universe Company's transport department and began to send them to the emperors he traded with. On the second day, the golden armor arrived. Sir, these are the goods you bought. The Virtual Universe Company's personnel specially sent the goods outside the island. Identity confirmation? Confirmation complete. Thanks. Luo Feng received the storage ring. The personnel bowed respectfully and left. Luo Feng's thread of world energy permeated into the storage ring. He easily discovered that within the storage ring, there was only one item, that golden armor. Actually, the moment the delivery person passed through the teleportation tunnel and arrived at number 026 base, Luo Feng, whose every cell in his body was boiling, knew. The treasure had arrived. He didn't even need to check to know it was right. Luo Feng was extremely excited at that time. Even though he had guessed it earlier and had high confidence, without relying on his body's senses, he didn't have 100% confidence. The feeling of boiling. The feeling of my entire body trembling. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with suppressed excitement. 5 billion mixed elements, don't even mention this golden armor, even that silver armor. Just the soul attacks and material attacks alone have over 90% resistance. That's enough to make even an emperor undying go bankrupt and fight for 50 billion mixed elements. Not to mention this set of golden armor. I've struck gold. Let's take a look. The ones before were called soldier armor, general armor. I wonder what this one is called. The excited Luo Feng swiftly returned to his living quarters and let the golden horned beast within his internal world begin to study the golden armor. Internal world. On the vast grassland, the grass had withered. A mountain range like golden horned beast was lying on the vast grassland. Suddenly it stood up fiercely. As it had been training the nameless manual's second level, its body often crumbled and turned to dust. Hence the armor pearl had long been forced out of its body by the golden horned beast. So, the 8 m tall golden armor appeared in the air above the grassland. Howl. The golden horned beast looked up at the tiny golden armor. Shio. The golden armor that was originally falling seemed to have received an incredibly strong summon. It immediately became a golden beam of light and rushed into the golden horned beast's body. After it entered, it became countless golden threads that seeped into every part of the golden horned beast's body. It also began to form a strange mark on its chest. The black scales on the golden horned beast's chest faintly revealed a flame god race word king, before disappearing. King. Floating in mid-air, the black-clothed Luo Feng stared at the scales on the golden horned beast's chest. He couldn't help but be overjoyed. It's indeed as I guessed. It's even more powerful than the soldier armor and general armor. This should be considered the emperor armor. Soldier armor, general armor, emperor armor, I wonder if there's anything even more powerful than that. Whatever, this armor has already given the golden horned beast a huge amount of pressure. Let's see if it can activate the entire armor. Emperor armor, condense. Black-clothed Luo Feng stared at the golden horned beast ahead. Howl. The golden horned beast also raised its head and let out a roar. After which, a layer of gold began to condense on the surface of its body. The originally black scales quickly became gold. In the blink of an eye, the entire body of the golden horned beast became a dazzling gold. An incomparably strong pressure began to spread. Not enough. The pressure is too huge. The 3 bodies thought at the same time. Black-clothed Luo Feng's expression changed. The golden horned beast howled softly. Its blood river energy completely exploded. Its body strength immediately increased by 12 times. Still not enough. The golden horned beast's body began to swiftly shrink, unleashing deities of the world. Beast god transformation. Natural abilities. One by one they were unleashed. The golden horned beast's body continued to grow. The golden armor that originally gave it a huge amount of pressure was now reduced by over 99%. However, it still felt uncomfortable and restricted. Obviously, it hadn't activated the armor to its limit yet. The golden horned beast's body isn't enough to fully activate the armor? In the following days, Luo Feng forced out the pearl and allowed the golden horned beast to continue training the nameless manual's second level. At the same time, Luo Feng left the army camp and sat in a ship that took a few months to return to Yanji continent. He began a period of training. while studying his origin laws, while studying Bright Moon strategy, while training the second level. Occasionally hunting in Yanji continent, Luo Feng was living a carefree life. His earth body's silver armor and silver wings image also let the warriors of Yanji continent know that there was a new blade-wielding human warrior called Yang. He had the strength of an emperor-level warrior. His movements were swift and his blade techniques were ferocious. He had the strength of an emperor-level warrior and was not to be trifled with. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 30 years had passed. Haha, I finally completed the second level. Now that it's fully unleashed, the Golden Horned Beast can unleash over 10,000 times Sector Lord strength. I don't believe I can't activate the armor. Within the internal world, the black-clothed Luo Feng floated in midair and stared ahead. And the Golden Horned Beast was once again merging with the Emperor Armor Pearl. Wah! The completely black Golden Horned Beast immediately shrunk, its body resembling that of a beast god. In an instant, it transformed into its strongest form, a completely golden beast. I've already successfully activated it to its limit. Indeed, only when one's body strength reaches 10,000 times Sector Lord strength can this armor be activated to its limit. The Golden Horned Beast let out roars after roars filled with joy that reverberated throughout the plains. This armor directly gave the Golden Horned Beast 100,000 times the strength of a Sector Lord. The human Emperor Undying body, even at its peak, only had 100,000 times Sector Lord strength. From this, one could see how amazing the armor was. Haha. Yanji continent. I have nothing to fear anymore. With such a powerful body, physical attacks below 100,000 times Sector Lord strength would be completely blocked by the armor. Soul attacks below the pinnacle of Emperor level would also be completely blocked by the armor. Even attacks exceeding 100,000 times Sector Lord strength would be weakened by over 90%. In terms of weakening, the armor was much stronger than the general armor.